They say the church is a hospital for the broken. But what happens when it's the hospital that breaks you? When the hands that once anointed you now leave you bleeding? When the same voice that said, "You're chosen," becomes the echo that silences your truth? That's the thing about church hurt. It's not just emotional, it's spiritual. It shakes the foundation of what you thought you knew about God, love, and belonging. But even in that shaking, there's still a whisper, a voice that says, "I was never the one that hurt you."
This episode, this space, is for those standing in that in between place, still reaching for God, but hesitant to reach for His people. For the ones who've walked away, not because they've stopped believing, but because they couldn't bear the noise anymore. Here, we'll talk about the ache and the aftermath, the wounds that come wrapped in worship, the healing that comes quietly, sometimes through tears, sometimes through laughter, always through grace. Because even in the ruins of what broke us, God still builds.
So, welcome
Welcome to
to Uncovering
Uncovering
the
the Truth,
Truth,
where
where
faith
faith
meets
meets
honesty
honesty and
and healing
healing
begins
begins in
in truth.
truth. I'm Valerie,
And I'm Ephraim.
and we are going to be talking about something that is a little bit more on the serious end.
Yes, something that we've been hinting at for a very long time. We're going to be discussing church hurt.
Church hurt. So, what is church hurt really?
I'm like nervous. I wasn't nervous like 2 seconds ago, but now I'm nervous. Church hurt is when, for me, is when the people that in church that are supposed to be there to guide you and to lift you up and to encourage you to press forward and to give you constructive criticism when you're failing or when you do something wrong end up being the people that hurt you, that push you away from the faith, and the people that you thought were going to be there in your darkest times and your best times are now the ones that are creating those dark times and the worst times in your life.
It definitely is not what people portray it as. People like to take God into the mix and say it's God's fault, but the reality is it's not. It's leaders that are broken, that they used their brokenness to break others and bleed onto them things that they have yet to heal from.
So I guess church hurt is not necessarily someone coming to you and correcting you on something you did wrong. Sometimes you may what because in our human nature, we tend to feel like offense towards that, and that's not church hurt. Church hurt is not like your pastor or your youth leader or an usher or someone correcting you something you did wrong, trying to better you in your future and in your walk with Christ. Church hurt is more them pinning you down and making you feel less than, and not really giving you a way to get better. It's just like this: you're wrong, and this is why you're wrong. Because it could sound. A lot of people take like constructive criticism as church hurt, and it's not that.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes, if,
There's a way to do constructive criticism, but it's in a way that becomes almost like toxic. Like it's like that manipulative criticism, the kind that's like, "Oh, if you don't do this, you're never going to grow into your calling. If you don't, like your attitude, you're this, like your way of just portraying yourself, um, you're never going to go anywhere because of it," when the reality is that it's not true.
yeah, it's like they want to keep you in this pigeonhole of like they're basically trying to control you and manipulate you into
Into
where
thinking
into think
their mentality is
yeah.
what you need to do.
Yeah, and they're trying to keep you in a place where like you can't really escape, and you're basically kind of like their pawn. Even if that's not their intention, it's kind of like what happens. At least in
That's
my
what they're,
experience.
yeah, that's what they're, what is that word? They're projecting onto you.
Yes, that yeah. Period. I just want to make a disclaimer. If I make jokes, it's just how I am because
Yeah.
if I feel uncomfortable, I'll probably make a joke out of it. So,
Trauma bonding. Okay, so we have to, I can never say this word.
Oh.
New.
If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my phone because we have notes.
Yeah.
Differentiate.
Yes. So we have to, that word between, I can never say, I'm not even going to try. So we have to,
Differentiate.
that. between offense, abusive, and disappointment, because I feel like they're not the same thing.
Yeah.
But yet we tend to portray them as the same thing, but they're not. Like disappointment is like, there was a time where I used to lead the youth dance ministry, and because of the fact that it is part of worship, I consider praise dance as a form of worship.
Most
Apart
definitely.
from singing, apart from playing an instrument, I think that praise dancing is a form of worship. So what I would do is during our practices, we would do like mini devotionals, and I would bring like a small word of like encouragement to kind of like allow those that were part of the team to kind of continue to grow spiritually, because it was a form of worship. And although we like to say that the enemy doesn't attack, the enemy does attack, because if we think about it, he was part of worship in heaven. So I feel like that's where he likes to like attack. So to make sure that we were spiritually prepared with what we were going to do, I would always give like a small devotion. So I remember that this leader was present during one of the devotionals that I was doing. And I was bringing, it wasn't even that like, I was bringing theology into it. It was just like kind of like encouraging the team to kind of continue to do what we were called to do, and kind of just, continue to pursue God and continue to remain aligned, because as young people, we tend to see what the world is doing and we want it because we've never experienced what the world has offered.
Yeah.
Well, is offering. But we as children of God, we can't be pursuing that. We have to, like the Bible says it clearly, we can't serve two masters. It's either you're going to serve God or you're going to serve the world. That's, you pick and choose.
Period.
So that's what I was like encouraging the team to do, is to kind of just continue pursuing God even though it gets difficult. Now this leader was there, and she was making faces and like making comments that I can hear, but it was like she was whispering it to herself. So it was like disappointing, because at the end of she was like, "Oh, can I say something?" And I was like, "Okay." Like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And I'm thinking like, "Oh, she's going to like add on to what I'm saying." No, she used that as a time to kind of target me.
Yeah,
And
I
it
remember
was
that.
like disappointing, because it's like, you're telling me that I need to be pouring into who I'm leading. That's what was always said in leadership meetings, that we needed to pour into those that we led and be good examples of leaders. And that's what I'm doing. And you're here telling me that I can't be doing that.
Yeah, and it was funny because I remember that she was aware that you were doing these devotionals.
Yes.
But then,
Because there was a chat and she was in that chat.
yeah, exactly, and she even spoke to you. I remember we were like in it was like after, I don't remember when. Obviously, it was forever ago, but we were like in the office and we were talking about it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, like she does like devotionals with the kid." Like she knew about it, so for her to come in and do that, I was kind of like, "So what do you want?" Like,
No, yeah. And it was, to me, it was disappointing, because it's like, one, you were aware of it. Two, you never told me I couldn't do it. Three, you're in the chat where I literally was letting each team member bring a small devotional into the chat, and they would send it into the chat, and she would read it. So I was like, it was disappointing to me, because it was like, okay, you're supposed to be leading me, and you're supposed to be happy that what you're inputting into me is what I'm sharing.
exactly.
But that wasn't the case.
Yeah, and it can even, like, for me, offense, bringing it back to the failed businesses episode, it was offensive because sometimes it's not always like about spiritual stuff. It could be about anything. It was offensive when the whole photo shoot happened and she was like, now you're not on the top of my list. Like, I felt offended because you're telling us that you want to. I guess it was the husband, not her husband, but the husband in that story. It was him like saying that he wanted to pour into us as a business, but obviously she also supported us, that was his mom, and for her to just like tear me down like right then and there, and just like instead of being like, oh, like maybe we can help you guys like work to get better. It's like, no, now you're not on top of my list. I felt very offended
Yeah.
in that moment. So it doesn't necessarily always have to be spiritually, because we see them kind of like as spiritual parents or
Well, we
spirit,
saw them as.
yeah, or a spirit like, so just like we looked up to them, and they
It
don't
was
have
like
to be,
not like spiritual like parents per se.
yeah,
I mean, for me, I thought she was like a spiritual mom.
yeah, I remember,
Only because like yes, I have my mom and my mom is Christian, but it's one thing to hear it from my mom because that's obviously my mom, and the Bible says that you have to instruct your child into the ways of the Lord.
yeah,
But to have other people that are not my blood, that are not part of my family, kind of also pouring into me, it was like, oh, like that's my spiritual mom.
exactly,
But things happen.
yeah, it's sad.
So then I think a way that it became abusive was the fact that we never got a break. We weren't allowed to go on vacation.
No, it's crazy. It was like they kind of, and they might, if they ever were to see this, they're obviously gonna say it's otherwise. But it was kind of like they didn't want us to develop other people to be under us
Just
because they wanted to
because,
keep us where we
yeah.
were.
Yeah.
So I was a leader for media for how long? Like 4 years.
And I was your assistant.
Yeah, and it was like if it wasn't me, if it wasn't Valerie, it was like the biggest thing on earth. It was like, oh, but like you're the best one that does it. And it's like I can train someone out. Like it's not that I don't. What I do is not that hard. Like
No,
it's not that hard
literally.
at all. Like it's
At the time, like we were managing social media for both the church and the youth, and then we were doing Pro Presenter upstairs.
yeah, social media for the youth, pro presenter, and I was making the flyers. So it's like if I can't train someone to run pro presenter, like pro presenter is so simple, but
And
it's
the way that it was being used at the time, it was simple because we weren't going too in depth into it at all.
yeah, because like what we did there, like we didn't use it to fullest potential, but it's like what if I was like what if I would have been ended up in the hospital or something, like you don't have nobody else to back you up, like what if one day
We would have had to haul the gurney.
literally like if let's say if we had COVID, what would we have done? We would have to show up,
I mean,
literally.
we
I'm not exaggerating.
got COVID,
Yes.
both without symptoms. They gave us like what, a week to get it over with, and then we got a message like, hey, we're gonna start doing lives in the church, so I need you to come.
Yeah. It got to the point where our burnout was so real.
It was
the
it was
Fab
a
Four,
bad burnout. Like
it was bad.
It was bad.
The Fab Four, we basically all had COVID undiagnosed, only because then this sounds really bad. But literally, it was to the point where they said, if you guys have COVID, we're gonna have to cancel the service.
Yeah.
So you guys so you guys better not have it. So it was kind of like manipulating us into,
Yep.
okay, like if we don't go, like they're gonna have to cancel everything, and then it's gonna be our fault if we don't show up because then they're gonna have to cancel the New Year's service, and then like what the heck is gonna happen? So
Yep.
we showed up and we did worship and we did a danza and we were all dying. Thankfully, I don't think anyone got sick. Like
No,
we didn't
yeah.
get anyone else sick.
I mean, I don't even think at that time that we did have COVID because I didn't feel sick.
Oh well, I know I felt. I remember we were all getting over. I remember that day I worked too, and after that day after work I went to Target to get something, and we went to church at night, and I was feeling horrible. And they're like, if you guys have COVID, then we're gonna have to cancel. So the people that felt sick, we didn't get tested, just so that it wouldn't be put on us that the service was canceled, because it would have been our fault. So because of you guys, the service was canceled.
Which it sounds bad thinking about it, and y'all probably like, oh, like no, we're being so. We really wish that we could sit here and say, haha, JK. No, like we're being so serious.
Yeah, instead of prioritizing ourselves,
it was bad. Like it was
very bad.
And I don't think we realized it was abuse until we had people telling us, like, bro, like, do you take a break? Like, do you breathe? Do y'all eat? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, like my brother and his girlfriend, like they're like, we never see you, because they knew I was literally at church every day. Now it's like we have like this little routine. Usually Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, like I'm off, so that's like when I hang out with them and stuff. But back then it was like
we were Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then back to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like it was
literally, it was
a routine. It was a routine, which is crazy because how can something meant to heal also wound?
Yeah, it's like you go. People say that the church is supposed to be a hospital, and yes, they say it's a hospital for the lost, and we weren't lost, but still, like we go through our moments, and we're supposed to go there to regain our strength and to like they say, recharge our batteries and to get filled with the Holy Spirit. But we were depositing that we literally, I don't know what I was depositing because I gave so much and we didn't receive that I don't know what I was giving. But to God be the glory, because people always said that like they were blessed with what we did, thankfully, like glory to God, because if it wasn't for him, literally if it wasn't for him, we would have been giving zero.
No, yeah. Think of it like an olive press. Like when you go to press an olive, the oil comes out. Obviously, at some point, you stop pressing the olive because it's not giving you nothing.
There ain't no more oil in it.
There's nothing giving it. So picture us as the olives, and the machine that presses the olives is, our past. And I'm gonna say it our past because it is our past.
Period.
And the oil is already done, but you're still there, being pushed, being pressed, and there's nothing else that you can give. It's not like they're giving you time to like take a breather. No, you're there with the press, still pressing, nothing's coming out. It's fine, keep pressing, that's how it
like
was.
when I say that I couldn't train anyone for media, there would be Sundays where I would be scheduled to sing for worship, and if whatever, I would see where the media room was, and if there was an issue, they would look at me like with the like a deer in the headlights, like I don't know what's happening. I would have to walk off the altar mid worship during the live to run, literally not walk, literally like run upstairs to fix whatever the issue was.
Yep. Or if I wasn't singing, which is majority of, I only sang on Fridays. But if it was on a Sunday and I wasn't doing anything, Ephraim would just text me like, "Hey, the live," and I would run up.
Yeah, like I would take my phone out, it looks really bad on the live, but what else am I gonna do? Hey, like I don't know what's happening, but they're freaking out. Can you go upstairs?
Yep.
And that's what would happen, and it's crazy, but that's what our life was.
So okay, so there definitely was an emotional and spiritual confusion that came from being hurt by people of faith.
Yeah.
And it definitely was one that I can say now, like looking back to it, is the reason why I put so much on my plate.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize this until I took the laws of growth that they asked us, Pastor Mari asked us to kind of like do like I guess like a self-evaluation, where do like a growth plan on ourselves and what we wanted to change. And I honestly didn't know what I was going to do. Like I was like thinking too hard into it. And my husband, Jimmy, was like, "You're thinking way too much into this. Like just chill." And I was like, "You know what? You're right." So I didn't touch the project. I didn't touch it because every time I had an idea, I'd be like, "No, that's not good enough." And then I would think of something else. "No, that's not good enough." And then that's how I was for like 4 ideas that I had.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that." So I kind of just like put it aside, and I went to my convention for my job, and it obviously was for Christian educators, so it was Christian based. And the first session that we had, it was like a mini sermon, and he was comparing Martha and Mary, and he asked the question of when does serving God become like blurry in a way. And one of the things was he gave 3 things, and literally each one of them hit me, because one of the main points that he said was, when you start complaining and asking God, why do I have so much and I can't manage it, that's a red flag. And I was like, bro, because they put it to the point where if you didn't split yourself in 10 pieces and were in everything, you weren't a good leader. And that's what they did to me. I needed to be in everything to feel like I was a good enough leader. Like I was in the kids, I was the leader for the praise dance, I was singing worship for the youth, I was doing social media, I was doing Pro Presenter, I was fixing the live, I was literally everywhere. running everything. So seeing it now, it made me realize that that became something that stuck with me to the point where when we moved to Connect, I wanted to do the same thing. I got here and I was like, I'm going to do the kids, I'm going to do media, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, because that's what I was doing. Not realizing that that was a pattern that I was bringing, and it made me question myself as a leader when there was no reason to question myself as a leader. But I was doing it because I felt like if I didn't have so much on my plate, then I wasn't anybody.
Speaking of Connect Church.
Oh my God.
Shout out to Connect Church. You already know, if you don't have a church to go to in Central Florida, we invite you to Connect Church of St. Cloud, 1215 Old Hickory Tree Road, St. Cloud, Florida, 34771. Pastor Stephen and Esther Serrano. Sunday services at 1 p.m. Tuesdays for the youth at 6:45. Every first Tuesday is basically a Sunday service on a Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. And more on the website, connectchurchstcloud.com. Shout out to Connect Church.
Wild.
I told you I was going to find a way every time. But going back to the actual topic. Yeah, so I guess for me, this, like, the emotional and spiritual confusion, it's like, it's very confusing when you're being like degraded, and you're not like degraded because it wasn't
well, in part, it did feel like we were being degraded, because it was like we got praised in public, but then after it was like, hey, can I see you guys in the office?
Yeah, and then we get yelled at.
We would get yelled at. Like, pick one. You're going to praise us or you're going to yell at us?
Yeah. And so it was weird because like we would be like yelled at, we would get scolded, but then there were times where they would, oh, like, oh, you guys do so much for us, so we're going to take you out to eat. Oh, like, oh, we love you guys do so much for us. But then like 2 seconds later, you're yelling at us. So it was like, do you love us or do you hate us? That's really what it felt like. It was like walking on thin ice everywhere that we went. And I can say that this impacts our relationship with God a lot, because like we're supposed to have those leaders to help guide us, but then it's like you feel like you're on a solo run. And yes, you have like our friends that like we had like the Fab Four, but we were all going through the same thing. So it was like besides God, we didn't really have anyone to go to. We had our parents, but it's like sometimes you need more than just your parents.
Yeah.
And don't mess with my mom, because she will show up and she will post up. So like I know that my mom was always there to defend me, and she always believed what we said. And that was also very confusing. Not my mom, but like the whole degrading us in private. But then when I bring my mom into it, oh, that's not what I meant to say. That's not the word that I meant to say. What I meant was this, because you don't want to be on my mom's bad side.
No, yeah.
Or you want to make it seem like what you did wasn't what you did.
No, yeah. There was a time frame where I told them, like, you want to meet with me? My mom was going to come with me. In which they told me, because I remember I was sitting, this was counting down to us basically being kicked out. And I was sitting in the back, because that was my normal spot in the back. Well, my mom's normal spot was the back, so I would sit there. We were always doing something. So on the days that I didn't have to do anything, I sat with my mom. Because Jimmy obviously was playing the piano, so it wasn't like I could sit with him. Efrain was always singing, or he was upstairs, so it wasn't like I could be there. And then Frances also was singing, so it wasn't like I could be with her either. So I was sitting in the back, and I was just like on my phone, and the pastor comes and calls me into the office, and I was like, why are you taking me to the office? Oh, no, I want to talk to you. Oh, okay, then you can wait, because I'm not talking to you unless I have my mom present. And he took offense to that, because I said, I don't want to meet with you unless my mom is there. So then he gave me attitude and was like, okay, so go find your mom then.
Okay, and I will.
And I was like, okay.
Sadly for me, my mom lives in Texas, so I would have FaceTimed her though, or WhatsApp video chat, because she has a.
So I told my mom, I was like, hey, I'm being called into the office. Come with me. And she was like, what? Because at that point, she was over it. She was like, bro, like, really? So we went into the office, and it was just to literally sit me down and tell me, oh, we want to give you this position. And at the time, it was a position that I was already doing, but I didn't have the title. So they wanted to give me the title of what I was already doing.
Yeah, they wanted to do that to see if she would like calm down.
So they told me, oh, we want to give you this position, but you need to change the way that you act. I was like, what?
See, yeah, literally.
What? You want me to change the way? And mind you, I wasn't even acting. They portrayed me as a rebel. They portrayed me as someone that couldn't abide to authority.
Yeah.
As someone that was causing young people to leave the church. Like, those are my labels. And at the time, I took them as like, dang, like, am I really doing that? Is that really what I'm doing? And that made me confused. Because it was like, how is it that I go to the front and get prayed for and God's telling me, oh, I'm calling you to bigger things. I'm calling you for this. But yet, from people that are supposed to lead me and guide me, they're telling me, oh, you're a rebel. You don't respect authority. You're causing youth to, like, for someone that was trying to, one, they built me on insecurity. They were creating my leadership on insecurity, on needing to have approval, to feel like I was walking with purpose, and to make me believe that the only way for me to be a leader was to assist for many, many years, because they didn't think that I could hold the leadership position, because I was assisted. I was the assistant to the dance leader until the dance leader told them she can lead the youth. She can do that. And at the time when that first was discussed, it was us two.
Yeah, I remember that.
But then you kind of didn't, I guess, like, I don't know.
It's just like, yes, I loved doing danza, but that was Valerie's like passion, and she just knew more about it. So it was just like, it was more natural for her to like take the lead. So that's just like kind of like happened that way.
Yeah. So that was the only thing that I led. But even then, I was still assisting the leader. Then I was assisting you with media.
Yeah.
And then I was assisting with programming. And then I was assisting the youth pastor. And then I was assisting the kids leader. Like, it was everything assist. And never was, we think that you have the potential to lead. It was always, you have the potential to assist. And that's as far as you're going to get. Mm-hmm. So that took a big toll on me. Because it's like, I know I can lead. I know I can do this. And it just didn't. It didn't take. So that affected me so bad, because it was like, it started something in me where it was like, I was doubting. Like, okay, God, you're telling me one thing, but you're using people to tell me another thing? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. So it was like, for someone that was built on insecurity, it was something that was really bad. And it affected how I viewed myself, because you're always told, like, oh, like, you're a reflection of God, you're like, you're called, you're wonderfully made. But it was like, am I wonderfully made to be a rebel? So it was like, I called to be someone that would drive youth away from church. Like, it was the on and off thinking, like, do I accept what God is telling me, or do I accept what leaders that are being used by God, quote unquote, used by God, are telling me? Yeah. So it was like that mental battle. And they knew how to get you at, like, your weakest point.
1,000%.
They knew. Because the amount of times that I was called into the office to tell me that I didn't know how to sing, that I didn't know how to preach, I didn't know how to teach, were crazy.
It's a lot. So I've been trying to think what my first memory of church hurt was. Like,
So I don't, for the one that came up now, like, to mind now, I don't necessarily think it was the first time.
Yeah.
Because I know what my first time was, but I don't think I am ready to share that on camera.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. I mean, I probably do know, but I don't know. Right now, I don't know. I'm trying to remember because I feel like a lot of times, sometimes you don't realize you're being hurt until it's like too late. So like it's for me, it's hard to
Yeah.
remember when like the first time was.
I can
Remember.
say one, because obviously I'm not gonna say like the first, but the one, I guess the one that came after, in a way, was when it was the youngest son, and then it was another person, and we were in the office because I got upset that the worship team was practicing without me, and I was just like there,
I remember I was at work that day. You were
and
texting me.
nobody like was like, hey, like come, and they kept like moving rooms. They weren't even practicing, and I got upset. And because I sassed and said, are you going to practice or without me or what are you going to do? Because the changing the rooms, you're wasting my time, you're wasting your time. Like the service is tomorrow because it was a Thursday. So they got upset. So they went and told, the son went and told his mom.
Yeah, I remember.
And then I got called into the office to where they sat both of us down and was like, oh, what's going on? So I told them, like, I told her, like, they're changing rooms, they're not practicing, they're playing around, like I'm over it. Like they're trying to practice melody, but they all leave and leave me in the room by myself. Like if I'm also singing, I should also be practicing. If I'm doing melody, I need to know what I'm doing. If I'm doing a low harmony, I need to know what I'm doing. Like don't just leave and like go do something else. So because I said that, the sun got up into my face.
Yes.
And I was like, dude, like you're a man. Why are you coming into a woman's face? Later we found out why, but it was like why are you in my face? So then the mom was trying to like, oh, like, like pushing him back, like don't do that. And like we were like nose to nose, like Eskimo kisses all the way type.
Ew, not
Like
him.
we were rubbing noses because of like he really wasn't sitting like the way that I would have punched him would have been crazy. Like it would have been crazy. So, of course,
Tired.
because the leader at the time for the youth worship team was so beloved, so loved at the time, obviously I was in the wrong and I got yelled at for it. And then at that same time, my mom was being not interrogated, but being told that I was demon possessed, that's why I was acting out, that's why all these things I was going through. So, what happens if I'm here in someone's face, acting out, trying to defend myself? Of course, the demon possessed girl is acting out. It's demons. So I ran out and I literally hid behind my car, or my mom's car, and sobs. My mom had to literally look for me in the parking lot because I was crouched on the floor in a fetal position crying.
Dang.
And then what happened the next day? They called everyone up to early that day for service. They wanted us at 6:00 in prayer and fasting. And then I had another leader pray over me, trying to cast out the demons that supposedly were in me. And because I was crying because of how mad I was, she was sitting like, yes, thank you, Lord, because they're coming out. What is coming out? Nothing. Like, what are you talking about?
You make it might sound very. But that's seriously very crazy because that's like what? That's insane.
At that time, it was demons, but then it turned into reverence for the altar. Which, I mean, I was demon possessed, so of course I didn't have reverence for the altar.
Oh, the reference for the altar story. That's an amazing story.
That's what I'm saying. Of course, demons don't have reverence for the altar. So the demon possessed girl, of course,
Yikes.
is not going to have reverence for the altar.
Well, that's crazy. But mine, I guess I didn't realize because it doesn't sound it's not as intense as Valerie's story, but like later on, it's something that I realized that like actually hurt me because it was kind of like you know what just happened with these people and like you know the relationship to me and you're gonna like talk to me and you're gonna tell me that like when you know that I still see them all the time. Like it was when I was gonna go to Georgia with my extended family, well, my brother and my extended family at the time. Um, and I was like telling her like, yeah, we're gonna go for Operation Christmas Child. We're gonna see the
Oh yeah.
warehouse and this and that. And she was like, who are you going with again? Like with attitude. And I was okay. Sorry about that. Valley spilled juice.
I was trying to drink some juice because I think I'm getting sick.
So you joke for juice. Anyways, mine doesn't sound as intense, but I feel like that's what like started their treatment towards me to start like shifting because my brother had just that year recently left the church. That church, he's still in church, but and towards the end of the year, we were gonna go to Georgia to go to the Operation Christmas Child warehouse, because we can. Like it was something that his wife at the time really loved,
Yeah.
like something that she really loved to do, or that she loved that ministry, and she always wanted to go to the warehouse.
That's crazy.
She always wanted to go to the warehouse, so we planned a trip, and I think it was in December.
Yeah.
To go to the warehouse, and I was telling one of the leaders at the time that I was gonna go, and she was like, "With who?" And I was like, "My family." And she was like, "Who's your family?" And I said the names, one of them being my blood brother, and she was like, "That's not your family." And I was like, "Huh?" And she was like, "They're not your family. You're not related to them at all." And I was like, "So the offspring of my brother and his wife, that doesn't make us family. The fact that they're married, it doesn't matter if we're not blood." But like that moment, I was kind of like, because I'd never been spoken to like that by them. And I know the experience my brother had with them, but when I tell you I'm someone that gives people the benefit of the doubt, you can ask Valley. Like, Valley's like, I don't like this person. I'm like, oh, but they're so nice. Like, come on.
Like it's like that meme where it's like, um, it's like the what's it called? that the nice friend that's like, no, it's okay, and then it's like the other friend, bro, hold my phone.
No, literally, like, I'm the nice friend, and she's the one that's gonna beat you up. Literally. But I was like, giving them the benefit of the doubt. So when that happened, I was kind of like it hurt. Like it wasn't like I wasn't like yes, I was offended, obviously because that was my family. Like you're not gonna tell me otherwise. But it's kind of like these people that did so much for you, and like you're gonna talk like that about them because of a situation that happened. Like you're supposed to be Christian, forgive, forget, turn the other cheek. Like don't act like that. So like it hurt, and I didn't notice that it hurt until later on. And I feel like that's my earliest memory of. It wasn't obviously that didn't drive me out of the church, but it was my first experience with them treating me like that.
No, yeah, it was.
Oh, that's crazy.
And there's most definitely other like instances, but
So
that
many
would be like
instances.
the I guess the mine isn't the first, but it's because I'm not ready to share that yet.
Yeah, no, that's
There'll be a couple conversations that need to be had before I share that on the internet.
no, literally.
So, the deconstruction without the destruction. So, faith after hurt without losing it. How did that look like for you?
Start crying. Imagine.
Bruh.
Exploring faith after hurt without losing it. I just really had to take other people's experiences, seeing the path that certain people in my family took after they went through church hurt, because a lot of people in my family have gone through church hurt, sadly, in the past that they took it, and seeing where it's taken them to like a road of destruction. And if you're watching this, hi, I still love you. And if you see this, that's all love. But like, sadly, it's leading them to a road of destruction. But then also being able to see people like Pastor Madi, and seeing how yes they did go through a period of time where they didn't want to. I'm over it. Yes, they did go through a time where they didn't want anything to do with the church, but seeing how much they've grown and how much they reclaimed their faith and they took it and they ran with it, and seeing how much they've grown and how much God is using them and the opportunities they've had since being church hurt was something that I was like, I'm gonna take that example, I'm gonna take that road and lead with it. And if you want to call it poison, call it poison.
That's
If you know, you know.
crazy. Ciao.
Hey, Jimmy went.
That's crazy.
But if you know, you know.
No, literally, the hashtag under this has to be if you know, you know. Because that's crazy. I think for me, it took, I'm still healing. I think, and I say this not to be, like, I say it to them, not because I want to be like, no, like, mine was bad. No, but it's like,
No, I can say that Valley got the brunt of it.
I honestly, I wouldn't even desire what I went through on my worst enemy because it
I'm sorry. Jimmy was watching wrestling and he got so excited just now.
AJ and Dragon Lee got the World Championships.
If you heard that and you already know about wrestling, you're excited too.
Bruh.
AJ Lee.
AJ Styles and Dragon Lee.
Oh, I was like AJ Lee. What? Period.
I don't watch wrestling, so I don't know what's happening.
Period. They finally gave someone who's retiring next year a belt.
Period.
A belt.
Congrats.
After like
Almost
10 years of not getting any kind of championship. We finally
Okay,
got one.
Bejo.
Yeah, but yeah, I wouldn't wish what I went through with my worst enemy. I don't even think I have a worst enemy, to be honest with you. I'm still healing from it. Because it was a lot. I still remember the car rides where it was just me and Jimmy in the car, and I was just start bawling because it was a lot. And mind you, like, I don't come from a home that is a Christian household. I come from a broken home. So to go from a broken home to a place where I thought was safe and also be broken there, it was like it was a one-way street through and through.
Yeah, it's like you go there to like I said in the beginning, to regain your strength and to be surrounded by community, by family. But to go somewhere and it's like the family that you have there is also belittling you and like yelling at you and making you feel less than. It's like the worst of both worlds, not even the best, just the worst of both worlds.
And the thing is that one of the reasons why I feel so close to Pastor Mari is because we've both shared with each other, like we've talked about it, that when she left, what she was experiencing, it was thrown on me, but 10 times more.
Yes.
And I feel like that only happened because they probably saw Mari in me, and they were trying their best to preserve that so that it wouldn't leave for the second time, only for it to leave for the second time.
Yeah, it's because like I feel like their mentality, even if it's not their intention, it's sad. But I feel like their mentality is, we need to like use as much of this person as we can with all the potential that they have, but not let it get to their heads so that they want to go somewhere else, somewhere bigger and better. And it's like, no, like if God wants to move you, he's going to move you whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Like whether I wanted to leave or not, like if God wanted to move me, he was going to move me. So, yeah.
Yeah. It took a lot from me to choose to leave. It was a lot of prayer. And it was like I had told God, I was like, I'm not going to make that decision until I hear it from you. So when I got my answer during a camp that we did, and it was loud and clear in my ear, even then I still was like, no, I'm not ready to go.
It's like what I said in, I forgot what episode. Like it's like the toxic relationship where it's like they're like abusive and manipulative, but like for some reason it's your comfort, so you keep on going back to it. and it's like I don't want to leave it because this is like where I feel comfortable, even though it's where I'm the most broken.
Yeah.
It's the
And
weirdest
mind you,
feeling.
like, I wasn't even, because it was during altar, it was like an altar call that was happening. I wasn't even there for prayer. I was there kind of like the person, like usher, standing behind the ones that are being prayed for. But for him, the invited guest, to beeline towards me and literally tell me my answer is yes, like I was on the floor. Like I had two men holding me because I was on the floor.
Yeah, I remember that day was the last day of the night.
It was the
It was
last
the
day.
same day that that same preacher looked me in the eye and was like, you're about to walk into a new season where God is gonna glorify Himself through you, and He's gonna take you to places where you never thought you were gonna go, and the people who are belittling you and the naysayers are gonna see that where He's taking you for His glory. And I was like, okay, thanks God. But at that moment, I was kind of like over it, so I was kind of like, I don't know what you mean by that, but I guess I'll hold on to it. And little did I know, later on that year, we got kicked out. And then when we arrived to connect, Pastor Steven prayed for me once. And he didn't even know. Like, he knew, like, our situation, but he didn't know. He basically repeated the exact same words that the invited guest told me. But he said, like, now is the season that you're walking into where God is going to lift you up and use it for His glory. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Because I was like, God, wait. Like, in my mind, at the time when I first got that word, I was like, where are you going to lift me up now? Like, they're not gonna let you lift me up. So what do you mean? It's like I wanted to believe it and I held on to it, but I was like also doubting a little bit because I was like, how is that gonna happen?
Yeah. I think once I got my answer, I felt like stuck. Because it was like, I have my yes. Like, I can leave if I want to, but where am I going to go? Like, and at the time, Jimmy and I were dating. So it was like, is the Lord talking to him? Like, are we going to go together? Like, it was like a circle.
Yeah, and it's funny because like a week or two later is when we visited Connect's youth camp. For their first youth camp they did, and me and Jimmy both like at the same time.
Yeah.
We got our answer, where Pastor Stephen again was talking to the guys and basically said exactly what we were going through and was like, God is telling you it's time to go, and we were like, oh.
Yeah.
But then, just like you, we held on to the comfort of where we were at. But so we basically all had our answer. It was just like, how do you leave?
Yeah. I can definitely say that, like, because I said that I was still healing, and it's been almost 2 years, and you would think like, oh, like you left, so that should be healing enough. No, no, I can honestly say it's been almost 2 years of a mess, because there's been moments where I've felt like unworthy of the things that I was receiving, but it was because I felt like I wasn't meant to have it. Because when we got to Connect Church, I instantly, because of the trauma, there was things that when they asked, like, oh, what are some things that you do? I wanted to say, yeah, I sing. I wanted to say, yeah, I do pro presenter, like I do media. I wanted to say all that. But because that's where the trauma was, I didn't say it. And I just said, oh, I do praise dance, but you guys don't do praise dance here, so it's fine. But I feel like in a way, God was like, yes, you did all of that stuff, but that's not where I want to take you. So when, because obviously we were new, so we didn't know what was going on at the time. Like, we didn't know that they were in need of a secretary. So when Pastor Esther, she had told me, like, when you're ready, there's, you know, I want to be able to use you, but when you're ready, just let me know. So I remember I spent almost a month debating, like, should I tell Esther I'm ready? Should I not tell her that I'm ready? Do I feel like I'm ready? And that was the battle that I had. And again, going back, I didn't want to experience what I was experiencing. back in the old place, I didn't want to, I felt like I didn't want to work it until I was 100% healed. Now imagine if I still went by that,
You still wouldn't be working.
I still wouldn't be doing anything. Like, had I kept that mindset of, I'm not ready yet, I'm not healed yet, I'm not 100% yet, I'm not going to work until I am, I would have been today not doing nothing. And so when I was like, okay, like,
Jimmy. Jimmy be making me laugh, guys.
bruh. So when I told Esther, and it was a Sunday, and she was, I remember it, like she was sitting down, and I kind of like went up to her, and I was like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And we went out. Like we went a little bit more down. And I told her, I was like, hey, so I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to work. And she was like, okay, that's great. And then she left. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, is that it? But then I see her talking to Pastor and Pastor Mari. And I'm like, what is happening? So I'm like, okay, like, just like, I guess, she's going to tell them, like, yeah, she's ready to work. Like, let's see where we can put her. So when we were, like, getting ready to leave, because we were walking out, they called me over again. Esther called me over again. And she was like, hey, so we have been praying for someone to fill in a secretary position. And we asked Mari, because we don't really know you that well. We're trying to get to know you. And Mari says that you would be a good fit for this. So we just wanted to ask you if you would like to be the church secretary.
I remember that day.
And I was like, excuse me?
Huh?
I was like, what? No. And I was like, in the, like, what? Like, I literally just told you, like, I could work. But the secretary of the church is crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot of responsibility.
I was like, are you sure? And they looked at me and they were like, yeah, like, we think like you would be a good. And I was like, in my head, I was like, Valerie, no, say no. Like, that was like, I went immediately to like, no, remember, you were in leadership before. Remember what you went through. Remember, like, you're not 100%. And I was like, no. And I know that at the beginning, it was like, I was in a shell. And then they were like, oh, we want you to do mid-service announcements. And I was like, you want me to talk in front of people that I don't know? That's crazy. You want me to wear a mic and say, hey, welcome to Connect Church? And you're crazy. I can't do that. So it was like, I feel like God was the one that did that, because had I not, that wouldn't have started my healing. Like, I wouldn't have been able to actually heal from it.
Yeah.
And I would have been sitting here today, like, still struggling to have faith, to still believe that there's hope after the hurt, that there's still something that I can look forward to after everything that I went through. So I can definitely say that my healing was not rainbows and butterflies.
Yeah,
It was actually a hot mess. There was moments where I doubted myself a lot. There were moments where I wasn't myself. And as Pastor Esther and Stephen noticed it, and they would ask me, like, hey, like, are you okay? Like, is everything good? Like, are you sure you're okay? And then there's moments where I would keep to myself and just, like, internalize it. But, like, inside I was, like, I wanted to cry, but I was crying on the inside. I just wasn't showing that. I was, like, that's how I felt. But I'm definitely not 100% healed. I think that I won't fully be 100% healed until because I say, like, oh, I forgive them. But I know that if I were to see them in person, I would go off on them. Like, I still have that feeling. and I'm trying not to cry because I told myself I wasn't gonna do it. But I know that I wouldn't.
We said it's going to be an emotional series.
Oh my God. I know. Oh my God. I know I can't get to the 100% until I can sit there and say like obviously, because unless God lets it happen, that I have my chance to talk to them, I know that I'm not 100% healed yet until I can either say it to them, like, I forgive you of everything you did, or for me to sit in a moment with God and say, yes, I went through all of this, but God, I forgive them. And to say it with their name. Because it's one thing to say, oh yeah, I forgive them. But can you sit there and say, like, I forgive, and say the name, like, I forgive you, blank, because of this, 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 and this. And I'm willing to let God take that from me. So I know that until that happens, that I can fully let that go, because there's some things that I let go, but there's other things that I haven't been able to let go. And that's something that I realized in loss of growth, that I put so much on my plate to feel like I'm worthy to call myself a leader. So, and I'm trying to teach myself that I don't have to do that. Like, I am able to be a good leader because I'm allowing others that have qualities of a good leader pour into me and teach me the do's and don'ts of a good leader. So I'm learning that I have to, say no, to not have to do everything, that if I can't do something, I can delegate it. I'm trying to learn how to do that, especially in the role that I am now in, being the secretary. It's so much that I know that I want to be a part of other ministries and help, but I know that if I do that, somewhere along the line, something isn't going to get done. And because of my role, I can't allow something not go undone, because it's going to backtrack so much. So I know that that's the one thing that I have to do, is kind of allow God to take that from me. And I know that that's something that in the month that we got to Connect Church, God used Esther to tell me, let it go.
I remember that. It was during worship.
And it was during worship, and it was a moment where, Pastor Stephen called the congregation to come up. And I was just there, because in those moments, it kind of puts a block between you actually, not only letting go, but, actually worshiping God. Because there's moments where you kind of think, did you allow that to happen? God, did you let that happen for a reason? Or are they just broken? So in that moment, God used Pastor Esther to say, there's someone in here that needs to let it go. That there's stuff that you're carrying. God doesn't want you to carry that anymore. You need to let it go. And
I remember she looked at you and she pointed at you.
Yeah.
I was like, hello?
No, yeah. And I know that when I went up, I was iffy to go up, because I felt like something was going to happen. And I didn't want to receive it. Because who wants to receive something that requires so much from you? It's a sacrifice to let that go. And to this day, I'm still trying to let it go. There's things that I have let go of But there's other things that, because of how deep the hurt was, I still, like, it's still open wounds. So I'm still trying to 100% let that go. But I know that in the midst of it, there's people that definitely allowed me to have a new beginning. In which I think that they if they kept with the labels of like, oh, she's a rebel, she's this, and didn't actually get to know me for me, I think it would have been so much worse. But because Pastor Esther and Stephen and the leadership of Connect didn't see me for that, they didn't even want to, they heard it, but it was like, okay, that's what they said. But I want to get to know you, for what I'm seeing now. I think I wouldn't be where I am now because of that.
Yeah, I guess because we're running short on time. Sadly, my SD card's acting up, so we don't have as much time as we'd like. But anyways, I guess for me, in healing, like in real time, I still do with people pleasing, and they, like at Connect, they make it known and they make it like very clear, like, and they actually take you into consideration, not just hey, like you know how to do this, do it. It's like, can you do this? Are you sure? And if you say yes, they're like, are you sure? Like they make sure that you're okay with doing it. Sometimes I still say yes just because I feel like I can't say no, and God's still working with me on that. But the love that they give us and the love that they've shown us, it shows that like church hurt is literally people, not Christ, not God. It's the people that, because nobody's perfect, so it's flawed humans hurting flawed humans. It's not a perfect God hurting you, because a perfect God would never do anything to make you stray away from Him. Like that doesn't make sense. And also in my singing, I can say that Pastor Esther has played a huge role, because there's a lot of doubt that I had in my voice. That where we came from, it was like they would put you in a show, and like they had their strong singers, and everyone else is basically like weak. Like that's how it seemed. Like,
Yep.
that's the word they would use. Like, oh, I need to use this person, because they're my strong singers.
Yep.
I was like, okay, so what is everyone else? Piece of garbage, piece of trash. Like,
Yep.
so it's like I didn't even want to develop the way I should have.
At least your mic worked. Mine was muted majority of the time.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, and it's like to see the difference, and like to see actually people that truly care for you, and for your flaws, is something amazing to see. And even though like it takes time to get healed, just trust the process, because I don't think we could have made a better decision than to step out of where we were to step into someplace new, where God has actually been taking us to higher levels.
As you can see, I have now changed positions.
Not that, okay.
My legs started hurting.
Yeah, it's because if you heard that was Jimmy farting. No, I was kidding. That was the
No,
chair.
it was
His
the
chair
chair.
farted. So we're gonna wrap this episode up, mainly because of the time.
But also because we have part 2 coming up.
We have part 2 coming out. I'll make sure
We will be filming
more time.
on Saturday.
Yes. Hopefully the day you're watching this, the day this is uploaded, we're filming with Madi, because my goal is to have this up by Saturday.
Yeah.
It's currently Monday. So I guess we can share that, like, glory to God, we've reclaimed our joy and we've reclaimed our faith, and we're still reclaiming it, because things still trigger us. So it's not like Valerie said, we're not 100% there. Maybe some of us more than others. And everybody that's gone through church hurt has a different journey.
Yeah.
So don't think you have to be healed in like 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 years. Like, however you and God, swing you and God.
And if you haven't experienced church hurt,
Don't. No, I was kidding.
oh,
Well, I mean, hopefully you don't.
hopefully you don't.
I pray you don't.
Yeah. And I would say, like, notice the signs, because I think we noticed it too late.
Yeah.
And we pray and hope that your pastors are more open to conversation than the ones that we had prior. Because I think if there was a time to have open conversation, I think it would have fixed a lot of stuff. But again, I don't blame God for taking us out of there. Like, I don't sit there and say, like, oh, it's God, why did you do this? There's a reason for it. I do know that had we stayed, we would not we would not be where we are now.
1,000%.
Spiritually, mentally. Um,
God knows if we would still even be in church right now.
yeah. Probably would have been in the club.
Oh, probably not the club for me.
Probably not the club, honestly.
It's not my jam.
But definitely not where, because I feel like we were meant. Well, I guess meant isn't really the word for it, but I feel like there really isn't any other place for us to be at besides church.
Yeah, it's like weird.
It's kind of weird. I don't know.
I never had like
I don't know how to explain that.
It's like I never really had like the urge to
Like the world never enticed me to sit there and be like, hey.
yeah. Like I'm not saying that there's some things that like I would never have wanted to try.
Besides drugs, kids don't do
No,
drugs.
no, never that. Never that.
Arson, no.
But like there was, and I don't celebrate Halloween. But sometimes I'm not even gonna lie. There was some points in my life where I was like, "It's kind of fun."
Halloween Horror Nights, let's go, woo.
But like, that's the flesh talking, and we have to submit to our flesh.
I mean, I'm just kidding.
Pastor, get it?
Nah, I'm kidding. No, even if I was part of the world, child, I would have purchased a $20 necklace.
Bruh.
And I would have lit it up. Nah, don't try me. I ain't with it. This is the thing. My reflexes don't work with that. I will punch. I'll swing.
I told her if we were to ever have gone to Halloween Horror Nights, she has to go in a straight jacket so that she can not swing.
No, I would swing. I would kick. Put me in a straight jacket. I'll kick.
Oh, you're gonna give her shackles too.
I played soccer.
So put her in a wheelchair and strap her legs to the.
That's crazy.
So I guess we've found ways that we can, during this healing journey and in our new church home and our new Connect family, Connect Church. No, I was kidding.
Bruh.
We found moments of laughter, of lightness, of renewal in our spiritual lives, just by building community. Like recently, we started a young adults small group, a Connect group. And it was really fun, and I'm excited to see where it goes because I've gotten to the age when I feel like everyone goes through this. Like when you're youth, you're like, I'm never gonna want to be like with the adults. But now that I'm 26, turning 27 next month, I'm like,
listen,
these kids are young. I don't want to be with them.
You know, I'm old when I thought I was 27 years old, and I was like, oh my god, I'm be 28. Like, wait, wrong.
So it's like building the community and having people that have gone through very similar things that you did and being able to trauma bond together
is immaculate.
No, honestly, like Juan, Kayla, if you ever see this,
MVPs.
It's just been amazing. The journey, although it may not be easy at times, it's definitely worth it. And I can't wait to see where we are even like a few months from now. And hopefully God, we don't know, maybe God, because I've been feeling it in my heart. I don't know if I've spoken to you about it, but to meet with the people.
Just kidding.
Bruh. To even eventually meet with the people that hurt us and to talk it out.
Let me be 100% healed before we do that.
But you said you can't be 100% healed until you say it to them. So you got to be with them.
I guess.
Period. See, rewind that. No, I was kidding. But I like to speak with them, even if it's. I mean, I'm not saying that all four of us have to be with them at the same time. Like, however God wants it to happen.
What's funny though is I've had dreams about that, of me like talking to them, and I'm like, Lord, relax.
It's happening soon, guys. No, I'm just kidding. But whenever God allows it to happen, it'll happen. Even if you don't want it to happen,
Mini vlog. We'll do a mini vlog about it. I'm just
That's
kidding.
insane.
I'm just kidding. We're not.
Speaking of
recording
vlogs, if you guys want to see us do different content, besides other like additional to this podcast, let us know.
I mean,
probably gonna do it anyways.
We'll probably link some old videos that we used to do.
I'll think about that. There's only one that we did together. I'm gonna private every other video so you can't watch them. Willie did the one Mexican candy video together.
Yeah, but we also did a vlog.
We did do
Nia.
a vlog. Oh yeah, and the Maverick City vlog.
Yeah.
Oh, but that includes.
Boy. Okay.
You're right. Okay, so.
For our closing case file, we want to shout out our
amazing friend, our amazing guest that we will have next week, Pastor Madi. Woo woo. We want to shout out Pastor Madi because she has been just such
words.
I'm just kidding. But we want to shout out Pastor Marty because she has been such a key factor in our healing journey. Before we left where we were, and even after, and to this day, like she is such an inspiration. And we're also shouting her out because she's starting a podcast soon, Sealed with Hope. It's gonna be amazing. I'm excited for it.
Still with hope. Still with purpose.
See what's oh my! I'm cutting that out.
Another apology video.
No, I'm cutting that out because that's crazy.
No,
I'm cutting that.
leave it out.
I'm editing it. I'm cutting it out.
No, you need to leave it in there.
Anyways, I'm sorry. It's because I'm looking at the time and I'm like stressed out. So I'm just. Anyways, I'm so sorry. Sealed with the Purpose. I don't know why I said Sealed with Hope. But she is starting a new podcast soon called Sealed with the Purpose. If you haven't followed her on Instagram, it'll be linked down below. We're very excited for her to start that.
Period.
And we will be watching every episode. But yeah, so she will be here next after this episode. The next episode after this, Pastor Marty will be here.
So thank you for watching me cry and listening to us talk about church hurt. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to comment, like, and share. And perhaps you want to keep this conversation going in the comments. Let us know what you want to know. Because if you have any questions that you would want us to talk about in the next video of Church Hurt with Mari, help us keep the conversation going. Yes, you can connect with us on Instagram. Our Instagram for our podcast will be down here as per usual. You can find our Instagrams linked in the description box below. I'm not going to address what I addressed last time because I said it was going to be the last time. But if you know what I said last time, you know what I'm trying to say. Because you guys still haven't done it. And I'm over it. Period. But I still love you guys. Period. And remember, truth isn't always comfortable. Cue the tears. But it's always worth a conversation. Period. So that wraps up this episode on Church Hurt Part 1. And this is Uncovering the Truth. Bye. Bye.